Hey everybody, it's Amy from AmySews, and tonight we are here live for our March Power Serger subscription box. What's in the box? Just to show you what you received this month and what we're going to do with it. So we're so excited because we love the Serger boxes. Jim isn't here because he's out traveling today, and he's at the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo in Lakeland, Florida, I think, as of now. So it's just me, and I'm going to show you what is in the box. Are you ready? All right, so we have our box, and the box that came in the mail, and if you noticed, it was stuffed within every inch of its life. All right, here we go. Everything's jammed in here. Oh, get it open there. The first thing we see is the absolute truth. Happiness is the perfectly threaded serger. So I agree. Life is better now that we have some air thread sergers. It's a little easier than what we've had in the past. But this is absolutely the mantra to hang in your sewing room, because we know that is so true. All right, the first thing you get is this bolster pillow, right? So you have this nice round bolster pillow. That's what we're going to be doing, is making a circular ruffed bolster pillow. And you have some cording because we are making piping. You have these 4 little brass caps, and that's to put on the end of your ties. You're just going to add a little glue and stuff your ties in there just to give it a really kind of high-end finish. You have your kit, and I love the fabric. The blues and the yellows. It's so bright and pretty. Oh, I can't get open the other blue. It's like a sky blue, a pretty yellow, and the companions. It's just a lovely fabric. And then you have your tip sheet. And then you have, how do I find my class? Well, we've been including those in every box because sometimes we have a tendency to forget where we find everything and do everything. Whew, hello. Hi, everybody. Everybody's starting to make a comment, tell me where you're from. And it's okay to sprinkle these videos out into the universe. Send stars and hugs. All right, so you want to see what it looks like finished? Here it is. Here is your beautiful piped, ruched bolster pillow. Beautifully finished ends, beautiful piping, only one seam. So what do you think? I know it's gonna be, I like a porch pillow, as I call them. I don't have a very big front porch, but I have a chair out there. So I try to put a pretty pillow on there that kind of matches the wreath and the rug and everything else that's going on. It's just kind of the weird thing that I do. All right, are you ready for an option? So those of you with cover stitch, now this is not the same fabric, but you get an idea. What do you think if you did a cover stitch to decorate the inside? So take your solid blue fabric and add a cover stitch embellishment. So that is just a 3-thread cover stitch. That's the loop side, the stitch side. So you could do it either way. How about one more option? For those out there that do embroidery, look at that. So Lori, that works here in the store, actually stitched this out. I think this is a OESD design. I could be wrong. But you can, if you go to amybachman.com, there's a link for the purchase OESD designs. But look, the difference in the fabric. This is a Kaffe fabric. Yeah, so embroidery. And so what you'll do is you'll just really stabilize this piece well. So your embroidery is very crisp and it makes a very crisp pillow. So the options: cover stitch embellishing, keep letting the fabric speak for itself, adding embroidery. It's going to be lovely. And there's also a very nice step-by-step PDF that you'll download when you go to your library. And excuse the reach. Ugh. Look, it's a gym book. It's a novel. It's a novel with full color pictures. You can download the PDF. So anyway, so you have this to download. So you have very nice directions. Those of you who just get the class only, of course, you have the directions and the download as well. So how's everybody doing out there? I know, isn't the Sandy says the embroidery is beautiful. It is. And Lori takes such time with her embroidery. She uses the perfect amount of stabilizer. She presses everything and it's just stunning. Just stunning. Jim does a great job with directions, doesn't he? I know. So yes. So the class is going to be interesting next week, the live class, because he's traveling. He and I conceptualized the pillow. I know every component of the pillow, but I've never put one together. So it's going to be an interesting class. That's all I got to say. Barb Pasnak, your pillow is going to be just as beautiful. And I'll tell you why. This is straightforward serging stuff. A little bit of ruching, which means we're going to use our differential feed, making our piping. If you don't have a piping foot, you might want to scoot out and get a piping foot. You can still use your traditional foot, of course, right? So, but a piping foot makes life beautiful. And we have a tendency to add a lot of piping to things because it makes a break in your project. It becomes a very finished, a high-end looking finish with piping. So we love that. Well, hi, Terry. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you love the project. She bought more fabric to make the pillow. And fabric, I will tell you, we torture ourselves over fabric picking because I know not everybody likes what I like. And we try to pick something that's kind of neutral. That's, if I picked it for you, it would be probably beige, gray, black, and white, or the extreme, the Cafe fabric, really funky. So depending on my mood. All right, Bonnie, what you say, girl, takes it from homemade to couture. I'm not sure couture and serging go hand in hand, but we can figure it out. So that's that. But I was surprised. I was pleased that so many of you that are in the Serger box. I think there's like two different. I have some scan and cut box, Serger box transitioners, but I'm finding out my Serger box people are loving the Tea Towel Club. So we have so many of you that signed up. I appreciate it. We still have some room to add people for it's traditional sewing machine applique. And then there is files for a cutting machine if you want to use a cutting machine, or you can just trace and sew. So it seems like my sewers love the Tea Towel Club that don't do a lot of the embroidery. And the embroiderers who join the Tea Towel Club want to take the patterns and put them in their software. So there's no, everybody has their own path. And I'm grateful that you guys even join me. So let's see. Not a whole lot else going on. The Serger box next month is going to be interesting. The scan and cut box. The Serger box for, this is March, April, May is going to be adorable. I'm super excited. Vicki Clark, you're still waiting for your box. All right, I'll check with Ed. Oh, Terry said, Jim helped you pick out some blue, purple, and tan fabric. Oh, perfect. Yeah, if, Jim's in the store a couple days a week, so you have access to him if you live locally. A lot of new fabric in the shop. We just got beautiful black on black and white on white, and then black and white prints that are just stunning, absolutely stunning. So those of you who just popped in, right, this is the pillow that is in our project. So we're doing some ruching, some piping, and see how nicely finished these ends are. when you get your fabric, when you go, most of you have your fabric kit, this end piece right here, you have the option of, I think Jim said you could make the piping blue or yellow and then change out the lining. So you have enough to kind of mix and match in your kit. And you have your bolster pillow form. I will say packing this month was a little more challenging. I had to squish the boxes and Zach had to tape them while they were squished because we couldn't get it was too late. I had to use that box. It's what I had. So, and then here is one with an embroidery option in the middle. And Lori did a gorgeous job with picking the colors that actually match, these colors in her flowers that match over here. This is an OESD design. And then the other option that you would have is to take your center fabric, this paisley right here, and do some cover stitching on it. You could do cover stitching, chain stitching, top stitching. You could even use the decorative stitches on your sewing machine. It probably would be an appropriate time for that. We rarely get to use those stitches like we would like to. So when you just fold this under real quick. Well, that's not going to happen, but you can see what when you want to add some other serger details to the middle. So this is definitely an embellishing opportunity. This piece right here. And that's it. It's a nice little pillow to show off your skills, to dress up your home in the middle of your bed. I think there's 11 pillows on my bed. Irritates Ed to death. All the pillows that go on and all the pillows that come off every day. And we don't go to work till the bed's made and the pillows are back on. So that's how I start my day. So what you guys working on? Anything doing anything exciting? Have you seen any cool stuff? So the next Serger box, we're already starting to work on it. It's going to be super cool. And I will tell you, it's all white. The thread's white, the fabric's white, everything about it is white. And it's going to be a beautiful tone on tone. And I think you're going to like it because it's a kind of a cool technique that we're doing. I don't want to give it away because we're still in the process. And then when we start developing the class, it turns left, it turns right, or sometimes it goes right down the middle. I never know what we're doing. You're embroidering yarn designs for St. Patrick's Day. How wonderful. Are you doing yarn couching, or are you doing Reen from Embroidered Gardens technique where she glues the yarn down and then the design stitches on top of it? There's so many cool things to do with yarn couching. Hi, Dana. You want to join? The Tea Towel Club is open if you want to join the Tea Towel Club. With the Sergers, what you have to do is just go to AmySews.com and just put your name on the wait list. It takes us so many months to source everything because we have so many members. We don't open it up every 3 months, I think. A couple months, we'll have it reopened again. And then we're working on where after like 6 months is gone, we may just sell that class, but we want you to be, a member. So we may look at that differently. Okay, somebody's box was out for delivery on the 4th. It was returned to the Chester post office, the best I can tell from the tracking number. So Vicki, that's yours. Beautiful Chester, West Virginia is holding your package hostage. And it's a very small town. So I would hope. Every once in a while I drive through Chester, West Virginia. So it's a cute little town. Famous for their pottery, right? That whole part of West Virginia, that edge of Ohio. You heard of East Palestine's been in the news. It's only about 10 miles from here. Beautiful pottery back in the day. Hall China, Fiesta ware. Vicki lives right where they make Fiesta ware. I love my Fiesta ware. And it's so funny when we travel, like if you go to a flea market, you'll see a piece of Fiesta ware that's like $49.95. And we can go to the outlet and buy it for like $6. It's like treasured everywhere, but here we use it for everyday china. Oh, there's Jim. Hi, Jim. How's things in Lakeland, Florida? Hopefully it's so cold and snowy and icy here. I'm ready to get out. Oh, so society's using Reen's technique with an applique in the middle. So if you have not seen Embroidery Gardens, Reen's technique for doing yarn embroidery, it's very slick. She did it on her Facebook group. I'm sure you can search it and find it. So So Terry, I think Ed's going to post the answer to that since you were the second. Yeah. It should automatically roll over. There shouldn't be any interruptions anymore. Originally, it was set up for like a year at a time. Now I think we just open it up, but Ed will definitely answer that. So I am just the creative side of things. I'm not, can't handle the back end. I can't do all that. So that's outside my realm. So anyhow, so that's what's happening. Can't think of really a whole lot more that's in your box, right? So what some of the things you'll need for the class, not a whole lot. Your fabric and piping cord is included. You can use a neutral thread. You can use a white thread. You're not going to see really any threads when you're done, so it doesn't really matter. My only recommendation is if you are going to embellish your center piece, get that done first. And that way everything will flow together. So in the class, we're going to talk about making piping, using our differential feed to do the ruching, basic seaming. We're going to turn some tubes and just construction, of course, to put it together. So a piping foot is not imperative, but it's one of the feet that I love to have with my serger. If I had to pick just a few serger feet, it would be piping. The blind hem foot usually comes with your serger. And the other one probably would be the gathering foot. I really like the gathering. Some companies call it the shearing foot because you can gather onto flat fabric. So if you want to make a dust ruffle or something like that, I think I got to talk to Jim about, let's do a foot series, what each foot does. That would be just a good bonus class. So there's nobody, it's so quiet in here. Everybody's gone. It's like, I hear the clock ticking. It's crazy. All right. Jim says, if you don't have a piping foot, I know you can get one. Jim. Yes, you get, if you have a Bernina brother or Janome, we can get you a piping foot. A lot of serger feet are brand specific. So some are generic, the brother baby, not even the baby lock. So just make sure you know what you're getting. That's all. Okay. Fancy footwork class. I agree, Jim. I think we could do a class just on feet, right? I think that would be a good thing because there's so many out there. Bernina especially has introduced some of the coolest new feet I've seen in a long time. A curved sewing foot, something that sews on elastic, 2-inch elastic you can sew in your serger. We've never had that before. And let's see, there's a couple other new feet. There's always pearls, piping, gathering. My mind just went blank, but yes, there's tons of feet. And if you have a cover stitch machine, I recommend clear cover stitch feet if you have them for your brand. They really make a big difference. You can see what's happening with that. All right, everybody, we've got our pillows. We're all good. Dana says, I have a lot of feet and don't know what to do with them. So I think there's no reason. I mean, it wouldn't even. So are the instructions, Jana wants to know, are the instructions already on the site or what are the dimensions of the center piece to embroider? I don't know if Ed uploaded the PDF, but I can tell you the center main fabric is 9 inches by 21 inches. So if you're going to embroider or you're going to cover stitch or decorative stitch, cut your piece at like at least 1 inch bigger, longer and wider, because what happens is this kind of shrinks up a little bit every time it does a row. So then you can trim it to the 9 by 21. So better to be safe than sorry. And my Janome owners out there, you have an 18-inch hoop and that new M17. This whole piece, you could embroider the whole piece in one crazy section. All right, Jim, what'd you say? Piece of fabric number 21 should work. Yes. And Ed said the downloads aren't on the site yet. They usually go up the day of the class. We don't pre-post them too often. So, but that's your centerpiece if you want to get it prepped. Everything else is in your kit other than some thread. So a 9x21, Janet, that's finished to go in your pillow. So if you're going to embellish, I would take a bigger piece, embellish that, and then cut it down so you're good. Let's see. Amy at Art Designs. Amy finally caught you on a live. Loves you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. She's one of my business buddies, and she has an incredible site herself. So go check her out. And in our group, I think there's 5 Amy's, so it gets really crazy. All right, those of you just popping in, here is our Serger project. This has a center embroidered on it. Did a nice little bolster pillow. We're going to do Serger tubes. We're going to do some ruching around here. We're going to do piping. This is the actual fabric that is in your kit. Okay, as long as those little brass finish pieces, which I did not put on yet. So, right. So you have your fabric, everything you need in your kit, except for some thread. And I highly recommend you get a piping foot. It's going to be, your Serger's a lifetime investment. So you might as well get your Serger. So, all right, everybody. So I want you to do is hang on to this postcard right here, under your little inspiration card, and tack it up in your sewing room. Because every time that Serger gives you fits, you're going to know what it feels like when it's absolutely perfect. Oh, Carolyn, I'm glad you love the fabric. I'm glad you want to make the project. Yep, we're so excited. So Janet, do I have feet for your Husky Lock 936? I will have to look in the back, and we may have some random feet somewhere because they discontinued that machine. And I'm sure we can find you some feet. I will look. I can do that. I'll make Zach look. We're good. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. And I will see you next Tuesday for the live class inside of AmySews. You're going to go to AmySews.com. You're going to log in. You're going to hit your library and that little video arrow, click on it, and I will be live inside AmySews. Woo! All right, everybody. Have a terrific night, because the more you know, the more you sew.